I decided to actually use my Twitter. I don't know if this is for chaotic good or for chaotic evil. I'm not entirely sure, but I asked a very simple question on Twitter. Or I guess I made a statement in hope that people responded to said statement. It says, all right, Twitter, give me your worst fighting game takes. I'll start. Right? And my worst fighting game take is that I think Street Fighter 3 Third Strike sucks. Okay? And I think a lot of people put some spicy things down here. I saw a few. I responded to one, literally one. And then after that, I decided, you know, this is going to be way more fun if we just go in blind and we see what other people think are the worst takes in fighting games, right? So these are things that people either think are bad but true, right? Or they think are legitimately wrong with certain fighting games, certain styles of games, certain mechanics in games, right? Maybe there's some ugly truth to them. Let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to hop on over to the live stream. Pacing once or twice in top 8 does not equate to being a good player. Consistency is key. And why they do what they do, that's my take. It's not a bad fighting game take. If you make one top 8, you're a one-hit wonder, bro. It is I, First Himitsu. What's up? Let's go ahead and get into these. Let's see how it goes. I already see 3. And they're the only ones I can see. There are so many. I was not expecting this to blow up. I was not expecting this to have like 25 responses. Okay, there might even be more. Let me hit my notifications. Oh my gosh, there's more. There's more. Okay, let's go back to the tweet. Let's go to my page and then go back to the tweet. Yeah, there's 25. Okay. So this very top one is already pretty interesting. This is a bad fighting game take, apparently. Worst fighting game takes. Chip damage, death should never be a thing. I think that chip damage death is kind of annoying, right? But it also leads to some really hype comebacks, right? If someone is on a pixel and that's all they have left and they actually come back off that, that's pretty hype. But on the same coin, it feels really bad when someone just has like 3 bars of EX meter and they're just like cranking your guard and making you have to like perfect block or just defend or faultless defend or bury or just to stop yourself from dying to chip. Kind of feels bad. To be fair, I think there's a whole fighting game character based around chip damage in BlazBlue. So it'd be really weird if there was no chip damage in fighting games. I think some fighting games, it's fine for them to have. In other fighting games, it's not, right? It really depends on the game. Like certain games, I think chip death should be completely removed, right? And then other games, I'm like, okay, chip death is fine here. Like a game like Soul Calibur. A game like Soul Calibur, the fact that there's chip damage now, but there's no chip death, I think is totally fine, right? Chip damage is A-okay. But chip death in that game would feel fucked up. It'd feel super messed up for someone to just go into Soul Charge and just like chip you out, you know? Let's take a look at the next one. Yeah, this one's really big. This is a really long one. Here's mine. Multiverses is a terrible game. It's bad, just bad. The only reason why people are playing it is because it's free to play and Maximilian was paid to shill it. This game will die out fast. Nickelodeon All-Stars was also a bad game, just bad. Smash, however, is good. There's levels to this. I do agree that Multiverses is not for me. I think it's a terrible game. I honestly think it's awful, okay? But I don't think that people are continuing to play it because Max shielded it and it's free to play. I think people are continuing to play it because it's free to play and some people do like it. It's not for everyone, right? You have to legitimately like very floaty, very loose feeling Smash style clones, like Brawlhalla-esque clones. If you don't like that style of game, you won't like Multiverses. And I'm one of those people. Like I played Brawlhalla for maybe like 3-4 months. I think I made it up to Plat or Diamond. And I thought the game was all right, but I wasn't a super big fan of it. I was like, this game is not for me. I think it's kind of bad, right? That's just in my opinion. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, I'm going to say it's the same thing. I think it's a pretty bad game, but it's got the nostalgia factor, right? So it's going to be for some people and it's going to not be for others. Like Garfield, the fucking cat in a fighting game. SpongeBob kicking the shit out of Danny Phantom. That's pretty hyped to some people. Now, Smash being good, that's why I have to say there's levels to this. That's why I have to say this is really a bad take, right? And the reason why is because saying Smash is good means that you're saying every Smash game has been good. I think 64, for the purposes of casually, just like Multiverses and Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl, is probably good. But when you look at what's inside of Smash 64 under the hood, it's pretty fucking bad. I am a big, what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm not a fan of games that require excessive techniques or hard techniques to master movement, to master the most crucial thing to fighting games, especially platform fighters. So I also don't really like Melee that much. My best friend loves Melee, but me, I'm not a big fan of Melee. I love watching it. I like all the high level plays that can be made, the interactions in neutral and advantage and disadvantage. But me personally, I don't think that it's mechanically a good game because of the way that it works. Smash 4, I think it's a really, really, really solid platform fighter. It's got tight controls. It's got a really broken comeback mechanic, but it still feels relatively fair. And the game isn't so slow to the fact that it's not fun, i.e. Brawl. And I think Ultimate is garbage. I think Ultimate is fucking bad. So, I mean, Smash is like 1 for 5. In my eyes, Smash is 1 for 5. So I don't know if I even consider Smash good. It feels bad, right? Let's go to the next one. How do we go back? Oh, hell yeah. Twitter's sick. I also do not like Third Strike, LMFAO. Let's go, baby. I don't like Third Strike. I think Third Strike fucking sucks. Hey, what up, Luop? How you doing? Most fighting game players care more about marketing than playing fighting games. Damn. Damn, you motherfuckers are getting called out right now. Everyone who's like, where's my DLC? Where's my patches? Damn. Damn. Ron Stop Gaming. Yeah, how goes it? What's up? We're big chilling. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is the best one. Yo, preach, Cobra. Let's go. I'm actually a big fan of this take, all right? Now, a lot of people are going to say Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the best. Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 is the best, right? They're all fucking broken. They're all terribly designed games, okay, right? Okay, for Smash Ultimate, I like, except for the exception of Steve, he doesn't play like a Smash character. I don't think that Smash Ultimate is a good game because what you're doing in neutral is usually the same 1 or 2 options over and over. So it's literally a guess in neutral every time. It's like, okay, is my opponent going for this like dash attack and or grab, or are they going for really deep jump neutral air to end up behind me? And like that's how a lot of characters just function. They have like 1 or 2 very strong options in neutral that they're going to rotate on you over and over, and they're all fucking safe. Specifically, I can point out a great example. Palutena, her Nair is safe on block. What's poppin', Loki? Her Nair is safe on block, and it is also her best combo starter and her best combo extender. And it is her neutral tool. Like, it's that one move encompasses too many things for that character. And it's the same way with a lot of characters in the game. A lot of characters in the game have one move that is going to be your starter, your extender, your neutral tool, your opener, your ender, your sharking tool. Like, it's just your ledge trapping tool. It's just, they do too much. And it makes for a bad game. At least competitively. But, like, casually, Smash Ultimate's the best Smash game to ever exist. The best Smash game, because that's fucking everybody. If you just don't download Minecraft Steve, it's the best Smash game to ever exist, right? And I think that that's a fair point. All right, let's see. So I love Marvel vs. Capcom Violet Nair, another good example. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is my favorite Marvel vs. game. Legitimately my favorite Marvel vs. Capcom game, right? It's got the stone system, it's 2v2, the roster's a little wonky, but the mechanics are super solid. It's a great game under the hood. You just got to get over the ugly graphics and the like kind of piss poor roster. But it's a really fun game. I love the game. I can't take this tweet nor the replies. Oh shit. All right. Infinite / Touches of Death are not good fighting game mechanics. Whoa. Okay. To go along with this, ring outs, immediately killing people, is always and always has been a dumb mechanic in Soul Calibur. Making one mistake, then just getting robbed for it because the guy was constantly fishing for a ring out is definitely not balanced risk reward at all. Okay. So there's levels to this, right? And I have to say there's levels to this just like I did with the Yoshi Cookie tweet. And the reason why is this first one, I'm going to go ahead and say it now, you're spitting. Right? Touch of Deaths and Infinites are probably not okay. Like loops where it's like loop, you loop them to like a 2-touch situation. I'm cool with that. Literal touch of deaths are fucked up. In platform fighters, they're a little less so fucked up because there's DI and there's SDI and there's like reads you have to make in neutral to get those hits. But like in fighting games, it's just like, did I get hit by this like I7 low that I didn't react to and just die? Crazy. That's sick, right? All right. But here's the next part. This part is something that I actually don't really agree with. To go along with this, ring outs immediately killing people. Okay, so hazardous stage transitions. So you could even like say this applies to a character like Akuma in Tekken 7 with Howard State, right? Because it's gonna lead to a touch of death. or King or Armor King on Forgotten Temple or whatever, the one with all the do. Yeah, he's been run out too many times with Nightmare. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say here. Making one mistake and just getting robbed. Okay, this is the part that you have to call out. Getting robbed because the guy was constantly fishing for a ring out. Yes, it is balanced resources reward, and the reason why is because your opponent was fishing for the same corny option over and over, and you made a mistake and didn't play around it. While I don't particularly like ring outs, I don't think that they're completely imbalanced in the way that they function in Soul Calibur because of the freedom of movement. Because of how easy it is to move around on the stage, to kind of fight your way off the ring edge and get out of the situation. Coupled with the fact that there's so many defensive options in the game where you can kind of stop your opponent from just ringing you out, right? You can soul charge, you can GI, you can RI, you can RE, right? You can swing. You know, they're going for like a vertical. You can like sidestep, swing with a big button, and just kind of get out of the situation. There's so many ways to play around ring outs. Unless it's just like mid screen, you got touch once ring out, right? Like Song Mina Nightmare, sure, right? But for the most part, I think ring outs, as they're supposed to function, aren't too bad. It's when they're like you're carrying someone across the entire fucking stage and getting a ring out, like Touch of Death styled ring outs. Those feel bad, right? So this has levels to it. I agree with it, kind of. I disagree with it, kind of. It's a pretty good mechanic, and it's a pretty good take, right? The first part, he's spitting for sure. Infinites and Touch of Death do not belong in fighting games, legitimately. Garo is better than any Alpha series, and not as good as Third Strike. Oh. Wow. I think that Garo Mark of the Wolves is a really solid fighting game. If you guys haven't heard of or played Garo Mark of the Wolves, I believe it's on Fightcade. You guys should go play Garo Mark of the Wolves. It's like one of the cool old style like SNK games, Neo Geo games. What up with Under Night? I love Under Night music. Yeah, exactly. Full screen ring outs, bullshit. Hilda Soul Calibur 4, the literal Doom combo, bullshit. Ring outs in general, yeah, not too bad. Not so bad, right? I like Garo. I don't know if I like Garo more than Alpha 2 or Alpha 3. I will say that I love Garo more than Third Strike, because I think Third Strike is literally bottom of the barrel fighting game. Okay, here we go. Here's another one. GIs. This is another one that has to do with Soul Calibur. GIs costing meter is a good idea. You know, I think Scion is spitting. I actually legitimately do think that with the amount of defensive options we have in Soul Calibur, especially in 6, that if GI had costed meter, I wouldn't have batted an eye. Because we also have RE, we also have Soul Charge, and we have RI, right? Maybe RI costs half a bar and GI costs a quarter of a bar. RE costs no meter, Soul Charge costs a full bar. That is a lot of defensive options. I totally agree with this. I liked the way GI and Just Block worked in Soul Calibur 5 compared to the way that shit works in Soul Calibur 6. I think GI into 50-50 lethal hit is like the corniest shit to ever exist in a fighting game. Legitimately, it's fucking awful. Yeah, I disagree with that. I 100% agree that like Soul Calibur 5 was still fine for RE costing, for GI costing meter. There was other things that made people not like the game. All right. Melee is an awful game. I have no clue how its competitive scene survived this long. This is coming from a Melee player who loves that I now have access to Slippy when I don't have locals anywhere near me. This is one of the few tweets that I saw that I liked, by the way. Damn! Melee is an awful game, and I don't know how its competitive scene has survived this long. That is a fucking take. Damn, I wish he had elaborated on why he thought Melee was an awful game, but I don't think Melee is like the pinnacle of fighting games like people say it is, right? People say that like for platform fighters, Melee is the pinnacle, and for like regular fighting games, it's Third Strike is the pinnacle. I think both those games are bad. I think like putting something that's very important to the game, locking up behind like an actual skill barrier, fucking sucks. I hate Third Strike parry. I think Third Strike parry, like it being so essential to high level play, is whack. I think that wave dashing and L canceling being so essential to high level Melee play, and them being such a skill barrier, is whack. Legitimate. That's just me. That's how I feel about it. If you really want to get a reaction, Street Fighter New Generation is the best Street Fighter game. Ooh, is the best Street Fighter 3 game? All right, Sean was still good in Second Impact, the New Generation, so I'm gonna agree. A regular Street Fighter Third Strike, regular Street Fighter 3 New Generation is better than Third Strike. Let's go. Have you yet to see anyone saying that GameCube fighting games are the shit, or maybe I'm cool with SE2 and Primal Fury? Primal Fury was good. But Bloody Roar Extreme also existed, and it's just a better version of Primal Fury. So, like, Bloody Roar Primal Fury was a great game. I have no problem with it, but I do think that Extreme just it has one more character or two more characters, and then it also like they normalized a lot of the mechanics that were kind of wonky in Primal Fury on accident because they weren't supposed to be wonky; they just happened to be. Fighter, ooh, this is a hot one. Fighter Z came out 15 years too late. I haven't cared for Dragon Ball Z in years, and it's nowhere near as good as a game like Supersonic Warriors on the GBA. Every time I see the gameplay of it, it is surprisingly dull. Damn. So when you look at Dragon Ball FighterZ as a fighting game, it's solid and it makes sense and it's a good fighting game. But do I think that it's a good representation of Dragon Ball Z as a fighting game? No, I don't. I don't at all think, like, the cinematics, yes, but the gameplay? No, I don't. So I see where he's coming from this aspect. I don't think that saying that Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors on the GBA is better than Dragon Ball FighterZ is a good take. But I kind of agree with the sentiment that when it comes to, like, Dragon Ball as an IP, they could have done something a lot cooler when it came to the fighting game. It doesn't feel Dragon Ball. It feels like Marvel with Dragon Ball characters in it. It feels like a tag game with Dragon Ball characters in it. They could have done better. But I mean, it's a fun game. I don't hate Dragon Ball FighterZ. But this first part is kind of spitting. It was a long time before Fighter Z came out. If Fighter Z had came out in like the early 2000s, like 2005, 2006, it would have been like the greatest fighting game of all time. Legitimately. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But it's so late that there's so many other games that kind of function the same way, but just don't have the power of the Dragon Ball IP behind them. Dragon Ball FighterZ did not have nearly enough playable Gokus. I saw this one too. This is the first one that popped up, and I had to comment on it because I think there was one thing that Typhoon Tim was missing. We didn't have Badman Vegeta. If we had Badman Vegeta, Dragon Ball FighterZ would have been the greatest Dragon Ball fight. It would have been the greatest fighting game of all time. That's truly what it was missing. But how many Gokus are there, right? So we got Base Goku, we got Blue Goku, we got Super Saiyan Goku, we got Goku Black, we got Kid Goku, and we got Ultra Instinct Goku. We're definitely missing some Gokus, right? We're missing like Kid Goku from Dragon Ball. Kid Goku, they don't count as Goku. Kid Goku, parentheses, Dragon Ball. No, they don't count. We're not counting them. And we also shouldn't count Goku Black because it's technically Zamasu, isn't it? But he at least looks like Goku. Fully. What are the Gokus that we're missing? We're basically just missing Dragon Ball Kid Goku. So how many more Gokus did Tim expect? What the fuck? That's grounds for having your FGC card revoked, my man. Hey, fuck you, Lean. You're cool, but I don't like Third Strike. Oh well. NetherRealm Fighters, Mortal Kombat, and Injustice aren't real fighting games. I don't like Injustice 2 very much. Injustice 1 was sick, Mortal Kombat 9 was sick, and MKX was sick. But Injustice 2 and MK11, we already have GT Goku. MK11 and Injustice 2 can like rock for all I care. But MK9 is one of the greatest fighting games of all time, in my opinion. It's in like the top 50 fighting games of all time. And for modern games, like that re-released an old classic, I think it did an amazing job. I legitimately like MK9. There was a few balancing problems, right? The roster was lopsided when it came to balance. There was a lot of wonky, weird mechanics where some things would be plus. Yeah, Super Saiyan 3 goes, yeah. So there was a lot of wonky stuff where things would be plus or minus just randomly, legitimately randomly. And there was player 1 priority where player 1 could not trade with player 2. If player 1 and player 2 did the same thing on both sides at the same time, player 1 would always win. But because of that, in the competitive scene, they just gave player 2 stage picks. So they found ways around it. There was some weird, quirky shit, but I do really, really love Mortal Kombat 9. I think that it was the best of all the NRS games to come out. Street Fighter Cross Tekken was fun to watch and play. At the end, yes. At the beginning, fuck no, this game sucked. The only true great Capcom fighting games in the past 20 years have had super jump and air combos as a universal mechanic. So he only likes Marvel vs. games. Got it. That is a total opinion that you are absolutely able to hold. I don't agree with you. I think that Street Fighter Alpha 3 is fucking sick. I think that Street Fighter 4 is really fucking dope too. Like, there were some good Street Fighter games mixed in there. Street Fighter Alpha 3, Street Fighter 4, right? You can look at Marvel vs. 2, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, Marvel Infinite. Those are all really, really good games. It's not canon, I think. Then neither is GT Goku. We already have GT Goku. Soul Calibur 2 is worse than Soul Calibur 3 in nearly every aspect, and the main reason people disagree are because they mostly played on the GameCube version of 2 and liked Link being in it, or were mad about the exclusivity of 3. I do prefer Soul Calibur 3 to Soul Calibur 2. Yeah, I'm not even gonna argue that. I legitimately, I don't hate this take at all. And I like the logic behind it. It's like, hey, if you played it on GameCube, you love Link. That's all it is. Or you had a GameCube or an Xbox and you were mad as fuck that you couldn't play Soul Calibur 3, so you didn't actually experience the greatness of the fucking game. Soul Calibur 3 was dope. Soul Calibur 3 was so cool. Even with the 2G bug, it was super cool. 2D fighters are extremely boring. That is an opinion to hold. That's fair. I play a few 2D fighters. I think if you come from a 3D fighting game background, it is a lot harder to like 2D fighters, right? To like playing them. Maybe watching them is fine, but playing them, I can see how it's a little boring, right? Because there's one less piece of complexity, right? You lose the 3D aspect of complexity and then add the air game, which is a whole different story. Equally, just ended up playing the former more. Soul Calibur 3 was dope. Soul Calibur 3 is my favorite Soul Calibur game. Legitimately my favorite Soul Calibur game. Soul Calibur 2 sucked. Let's go, Amy. Just getting right to the point. Okay. Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it's overrated. Fair. I do like Infinite and Marvel 3 more. I do. Alright, let's see. Any Street Fighter game, it's also lame. I would rather rip people's spines out. Well, we found the NRS player, chat. We found the NRS and Midway player, okay? This take isn't actually the worst. Okay, you know what? Actually, the name of this tweet is worst fighting game takes, and man, I think we found it all the way at the fucking bottom. This take is awful. He doesn't even explain why he likes the rest of, like, he's just like, I just want blood and gore. There's no like, I like the mechanics of the game. Can I fatality someone? If I cannot fatality someone, it's lame. Nice. But that, if I'm not mistaken, is all of them. Let me see. What is this? What's happening now? Oh, they're still talking about the fighting game marketing. Okay, so that is all of the takes. There's no more takes. Oops, accidentally went to someone's profile. That's not what I'm trying to do. There we go. Yeah, so that is all the takes on this tweet. And I think that there's a lot of hits and a lot of misses, right? There's a lot of like halfway good takes and halfway bad takes. But for the most part, it's all been opinion. And I love that, right? Like, you get to, in this situation, I am telling you to say your opinion and act like it's fact. And I think that these people on Twitter, these lovely Twitter people, killed it. And it made for a really fun experience reading all these. Reading most of these blind, actually, so these are pretty funny. Maybe we'll do this again sometime with like another topic or something a little less broad, right? Because the worst fighting game takes, like, that's real broad. This is actually a lot of replies in such a short amount of time. I posted this at work about 3-4 hours before we got here to look at these thick worst fighting game takes on Twitter. Anyways, if you enjoyed the content, please feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below your really, really, really bad fighting game takes. Tell me how you feel about certain fighting games that maybe everyone loves, but you just fucking hate. Anyways, this has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTube, signing out and saying